It was a bright and peaceful morning in Enchancia. The sun was shining softly over the castle gardens, and Princess Sofia was excited for a brand new day. She had finished her morning lessons early, so she decided to explore the royal gardens before lunchtime. The flowers were blooming in beautiful colors, the birds were singing happily, and everything felt calm. But Sofia had no idea that this day would become one of the most magical days of her life. Sofia walked toward the crystal fountain, a place she loved because the water always sparkled like diamonds. As she sat near the edge, she noticed something unusual. A small glowing light was floating above the water. At first, she thought it was a firefly. But when she moved closer, she realized the glow was too bright and too steady to be a simple bug. "What are you?" Sofia whispered softly. The glowing light flickered as if it heard her. Curiosity filled her heart. Slowly, she reached her hand toward the glowing shape. Instead of flying away, the light floated straight into her palm. The moment it touched her skin, Sofia felt a warm and gentle energy pass through her body. It didn't hurt. It felt almost like a soft hug. But then something strange happened. Sofia's hand disappeared. She gasped, quickly pulling her hand back. She stared at her palm, or at least where her palm should have been. It was completely invisible. She could feel it, move it, and wiggle her fingers, but nobody could see it. Sofia's heart raced. "Did I just turn invisible?" she whispered. She waved her invisible hand in front of her face. Slowly, the glow around her hand faded, and her hand became visible again. Sofia blinked in surprise. She wasn't dreaming. Something magical truly happened. Just then, Clover the rabbit hopped out of the bushes. "Hey, Sofia, you won't believe the trouble bailiwick is giving the palace squirrels today. Hey, what's with your face? You look like you saw a ghost." "Clover," Sofia said softly, "I think something magical just happened. Watch this." She gently touched her arm again, focusing on the warm feeling she had felt earlier. Within seconds, her entire right arm vanished again. Clover's eyes grew wide. "Whoa! Sofia, where did your arm go?" I think I got invisible powers," she said, showing her arm slowly coming back into view. Clover hopped in a small, excited circle. "Invisible powers? That is amazing. Do you know what you can do with that? You could surprise Amber, sneak extra cookies from the kitchen, or scare Cedric. Actually, don't scare Cedric. He'll probably faint." Sofia giggled nervously. The idea of invisible powers did sound exciting, but it also made her a little scared. "I don't even know how I got these powers," she said. "The glowing light from the fountain came into my hand. Maybe it was magic from some creature." "Or maybe," Clover said thoughtfully, "the fountain is connected to some old magic. Your amulet gets magic all the time. Maybe the fountain decided to give you a gift." Sofia touched her amulet of Avalor, but it wasn't glowing. So the amulet didn't give her this ability. Something else did. She stood up, breathing deeply. "I should tell someone. Maybe Daddy. Or maybe—" "Whoa, whoa, whoa," Clover interrupted, raising a paw. "Are you sure that's a good idea? What if the king thinks it's dangerous? What if he calls a wizard to remove your power? You just got it." Sofia frowned. Clover had a point. She did not want her power taken away before she even understood it. "Maybe I should learn how it works first," she said. "Just a little. So I can explain everything clearly." Clover nodded. "Now that sounds like a plan." Sofia focused again and tried to make her hand invisible. The warm energy returned, and soon her hand vanished again. But this time, instead of stopping there, the invisible power spread up her arm, across her shoulder, and then over her entire body. Within only a few seconds, Sofia had completely disappeared. "Sofia?" Clover said, turning around in circles. "Sofia?" "I'm right here," Sofia said, but her voice sounded strange, like it was floating around. "Sofia, I can hear you but I can't see you. This is so weird." Sofia tried not to laugh. Being invisible felt funny and strange at the same time. She moved quietly behind Clover. "Boo!" Clover jumped 3 feet into the air. "But, Sofia, don't do that. I'm too young to be scared like that." Sofia laughed out loud and slowly reappeared. The invisibility faded just like before. Sorry, Clover. I couldn't help it. But as the fun faded, Sofia felt a deep worry grow inside her. If she couldn't control this magic properly, things could go wrong. What if she disappeared in front of Amber and scared her? What if she turned invisible during a royal event? Or worse, what if she turned invisible and could not turn back? Clover noticed her worried face. Hey, what's wrong, Sofia? It's just a new power. You'll figure it out. I hope so, she whispered. But what if I can't? What if this magic is dangerous? Before Clover could answer, Sofia felt a strange pull, like the magic inside her was calling her somewhere. She turned toward the crystal fountain. The glowing light reappeared, bigger, brighter, and moving faster than before. Sofia, Clover said, stepping back. I don't think that thing is done with you. Sofia took a deep breath. The magic wasn't finished. And she knew her adventure was just beginning. Sofia took a careful step toward the crystal fountain. The glowing light that had given her the strange invisible power was floating above the water again. But now it was larger, brighter, and moving in slow circles, almost as if it were waiting for her. The warm magic inside Sofia reacted immediately. She felt a gentle pull, like something calling her name without words. Clover hopped beside her nervously. Sofia, maybe we shouldn't go any closer. That glow looks extra glowy today. Sofia gave a small smile. I think it wants to tell me something. Or maybe it wants to show me what this magic really is. I have to understand it, Clover. Clover folded his ears down. Okay, fine. But if something jumps out, I'm hiding behind you. Sofia took another step, and the glowing light started drifting toward her. Her heart beat faster. She held her breath as the light slowed to a stop right in front of her face. Then, gently, it floated down and circled her amulet. This time, instead of flying into her hand, the glow spread outward and surrounded her entire body. Sofia gasped as the magic washed over her like warm wind. She felt weightless for a moment, as if she were floating. Then the glow vanished, and Sofia vanished with it. Sofia! Not again! Clover shouted, spinning in circles. Where'd you go? I'm here, Sofia said, but her voice sounded distant again. She looked down but couldn't see anything, not her dress, her hands, or her shoes. She was completely invisible. This time, however, she hadn't chosen to turn invisible. It had just happened. I didn't try to do this, Sofia said, her voice shaking. It happened all by itself. Well, try turning back, Clover said. Sofia took a deep breath and tried to feel the warm magic inside her. She imagined herself becoming visible again. For a moment, nothing happened. Then her hand began to shimmer into view. The shimmer moved up her arm and across her body until she was completely visible again. She let out a relieved sigh. Okay, at least I can still turn visible. But the relief didn't last long. Just as she stepped back from the fountain, trying to calm herself, she suddenly vanished again. No glow, no warning, just poof, gone. Clover jumped. Sofia, you disappeared again. I didn't mean to, she said, her voice echoing strangely. This is getting worse. She focused again, trying to turn visible. It worked, but only for 3 seconds before she vanished again. Clover gasped. Sofia, I think your powers are going wild. Sofia's voice trembled. Why would they do that? I didn't do anything. She tried again and reappeared, her face full of worry. She looked back at the bright floating light. Maybe it's trying to tell me something. Maybe this magic isn't safe to keep. Just then, a soft voice drifted across the garden. Sofia, is that you? Sofia turned and saw a familiar figure approaching, Princess Amber. She looked confused, holding a book in her hands. Sofia, I heard voices. Who are you talking to? Amber asked. Clover whispered, Oh? Sofia panicked. She didn't want Amber to see her disappearing like a flickering candle flame. But before she could hide, her body shimmered, and she vanished again. Amber froze. Sofia? Sofia? Where did you go? This isn't funny. Sophia's heart raced. Amber, I'm here, she said, even though she knew Amber couldn't see her. Amber's eyes widened at the floating voice. Sophia, why can I hear you but not see you? What is going on? Sophia knew she had to show herself. She focused hard, and slowly she reappeared. Amber stepped back in shock. Sophia, what is happening? Why were you invisible? Sophia sighed helplessly. I don't know. Something magical got inside me from the fountain. Now my powers keep turning on by themselves. Amber looked stunned. Invisible powers? That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Clover whispered, she's not helping. Sophia bit her lip. Amber, I'm scared. I can't control it. Amber saw Sophia's frightened eyes and softened. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it worse. Let's figure this out. But Sophia didn't even get to respond. Without warning, poof, she disappeared again. Amber gasped. There she goes again. Sophia reappeared, then disappeared, then reappeared again, each time unable to stop it. I don't know what to do. Sophia cried. I feel like I'm losing control. Amber stepped closer carefully. Sophia, maybe you need to find out where this magic came from. Maybe someone knows how it works. Sophia looked at the glowing orb above the fountain. Maybe it's the one causing this. As if hearing her, the glowing light pulsed brightly. Then it shot upward into the sky and headed toward the enchanted woods. Clover pointed. Sophia, it's running away. Sophia reappeared again, breathing hard. Then we have to follow it. If that light gave me these powers, maybe it knows how to fix them. Amber looked at her in disbelief. You want to chase a glowing magical thing into the woods while you're turning invisible randomly? Sophia nodded. Yes. Otherwise this power could get even stronger and even more out of control. Amber sighed. Fine. I'm coming too. Clover gulped. I was afraid you'd say that. Sophia took a shaky breath. Despite her fear, she felt determined. She had to understand this magic. She had to control it. And she needed answers. She stepped forward, vanishing and reappearing every few seconds, following the glowing light into the mysterious enchanted woods. Their dangerous magical journey had just begun. Sophia ran toward the edge of the gardens, her body flickering in and out like a candle in the wind. The glowing orb that had given her the invisible powers floated ahead of her, gliding smoothly toward the enchanted woods. Amber followed close behind, lifting her dress every few steps so she wouldn't trip. Clover hopped as fast as his little legs could go. Sophia, slow down. Amber called out. You're disappearing. I mean literally disappearing every 5 seconds. Sophia looked down. Her feet were gone, her hands were visible, and half of her dress was invisible. I'm not trying to, she said nervously. It keeps happening. Clover dodged a bush. We're following a magic flying glow into the woods while Sophia blinks like a broken lantern. This is definitely a Tuesday. Despite everything, Sophia pushed forward. She had to understand her powers. She had to stop them from going wild. And she had to find out what the glowing light wanted from her. The moment they entered the enchanted woods, the air changed. Soft glowing leaves hung from the trees. The wind whispered through branches like voices telling forgotten stories. Tiny sparkles floated around them like dust made of starlight. Amber shivered. I don't like this place. It's too magical. That's exactly why we need to be here, Sophia said. If any place can explain this magic, it's the woods. The glowing light drifted deeper between the trees, moving slowly as if waiting for Sophia to follow. She hurried after it, but suddenly, pop, she vanished again. Amber jumped. Sophia, stop doing that. I'm not doing it. Sophia's invisible voice echoed. It just happens. Amber placed her hands on her hips. Well, try harder. Clover groaned. Amber, she's not a magic switch. Sophia focused, breathing deeply. Slowly she flickered into view like a fading picture finally sharpening. I'm back, she said, exhaling. Amber sighed in relief. Please stay that way. But Sophia knew she couldn't promise that. They continued deeper into the woods. The trees grew taller, the air thicker, and the magic stronger. Strange creatures peeked from behind bushes, glow foxes with sparkling fur, flutter mice with tiny wings, and floating jelly lanterns that bobbed above the ground like balloons. Amber stepped behind Sophia. Are these creatures safe? Mostly, Clover said. But you never know in the enchanted woods. The glowing orb finally slowed down and hovered in front of a giant silver tree. The tree's trunk shimmered like moonlight, and its branches swayed gently even though there was no wind. Sophia stared in awe. This tree, it feels alive. Amber whispered, everything here feels alive. The glowing orb rose higher, then slipped into a knot in the silver tree. Suddenly, the entire tree glowed with soft white light. The ground beneath them vibrated. The leaves rustled like someone sighing. Clover gulped. Okay, this is new. A warm, gentle voice echoed through the clearing. Princess Sofia. Sophia stepped forward, startled. Who said that? The silver tree glowed brighter. A soft silhouette formed in the trunk, a face, kind and ancient, shaped by light itself. Amber gasped. The tree is talking. Clover fainted for 2 seconds, then got back up. I didn't see anything. I wasn't scared. The tree's voice spoke again. Sophia, you carry magic that once belonged to the Guardian of Light. Sophia blinked. Guardian of Light. The tree nodded slowly. Long ago, a magical spirit protected invisibility magic in these woods. It was gentle and wise, but one day, its power became too strong to control. The Guardian placed its magic inside a glowing orb to keep it safe. That is the light you touched. Sophia's heart raced. So this power wasn't meant for me? Not without guidance, the tree replied. Invisibility is a rare magic. A gift and a great responsibility. Amber crossed her arms. Well, she can't stop turning invisible. She keeps vanishing like a squirrel popping in and out of a hole. Sophia frowned. Amber, the tree continued, the magic chose you because your heart is pure. But without balance, it will continue to flicker beyond your control. Sophia stepped closer. How do I fix it? I don't want to disappear randomly forever. The tree's voice softened. To control invisibility, you must learn the 3 lessons of light magic. Clover's ears perked up. Lessons? Like school? Magic school? Amber sighed. Wonderful. As if one school isn't enough. Sophia took a deep breath. What are the lessons? The tree pulsed with soft white light. First, stillness. You must learn to calm your heart, for invisibility begins inside. Amber whispered, Sophia, you're not very still. Clover nodded. Yeah, you're more bouncy. Sophia giggled nervously. I can learn. Second, the tree continued, discipline. You must understand when to use your power and when not to. And third, the tree glowed brighter than before. The ground shimmered. The wind grew still. The third lesson is courage. The magic will test you in ways you cannot expect. Only a brave heart can carry such a gift. Sophia nodded slowly. I'll do it. I'll learn all the lessons. Amber took Sophia's hand. And I'll help her. Clover hopped confidently. Me too. Even if magical trees freak me out a little. The glowing tree pulsed warmly. Then your journey continues. But be warned. The magic inside you grows stronger each minute. If you do not gain control soon, it may vanish you completely. Sophia froze. Vanish me, forever? The tree bowed its glowing face. Only if you fail to master it. Sophia's heart pounded. She disappeared, this time for 10 long seconds, before barely managing to reappear. Her powers were growing wilder. Amber squeezed her hand. We'll figure this out, Sophia. Clover nodded. We always do. Sophia looked up at the shining tree. Where do I begin? The tree's branches swayed, pointing deeper into the woods. Your first test awaits. Sophia gulped. She didn't know what the test would be, but she knew she had to face it, no matter how scared she felt. Sophia stepped carefully into the deeper part of the enchanted woods, her body flickering softly as the runaway magic buzzed inside her. With every few steps, her arm or foot vanished for a second before reappearing. The silver tree's warning echoed in her mind. If you do not learn control, the magic may vanish you forever. Clover hopped beside her, trying to sound brave. Sophia, remember what the tree said, your first lesson is stillness. Calm heart, calm mind. Amber, holding the hem of her dress to avoid sweeping leaves, said, yes, try to be still. Maybe, don't panic so much. Sophia gave a shaky laugh. I'm trying. But it's hard to stay calm when I don't know what's going to disappear next, me or my dress. As they moved forward, the trees grew taller and denser. Soft white fireflies floated around like tiny stars. The glowing pathway created by the silver tree guided them to a quiet clearing with a round shimmering pool in the center. The air was still, and for a moment, the woods felt peaceful. Amber whispered, this looks important. Clover sniffed the air. Definitely magical. And definitely weird. Suddenly, the glowing orb from the fountain, now dimmer and gentler, floated down from the sky and hovered above the pool. The water shimmered as the orb dipped inside. Then the surface brightened and formed an image, Sophia herself, flickering between invisible and visible like a broken reflection. A quiet voice filled the clearing, the same gentle voice from the silver tree. Princess Sofia, the first lesson begins. Sophia straightened. I'm ready. Clover whispered, I'm not. Amber elbowed him. The water began to swirl, and a circle of glowing petals rose up from the pool, surrounding Sophia. They floated gently like feathers caught in slow motion. The voice spoke again. To master your power, you must master your heart. When fear controls you, the magic controls you. When you calm your fear, you gain control. Sophia took a deep breath. I can do calm. Amber whispered, you can do this. But suddenly, poof, Sophia vanished. Not again. Clover cried. She didn't even start yet. Sophia's invisible voice trembled. I didn't mean to. I can't stop it. She tried to breathe slowly, but her panic made her flicker uncontrollably. Her outline appeared, then vanished, then reappeared halfway. Amber frowned. Sophia, stop thinking about disappearing. Think about staying. Clover jumped onto a nearby rock. Yeah. Think visible thoughts. Amber narrowed her eyes. That's not how magic works, Clover. Do you know how invisibility magic works? Clover shot back. Amber crossed her arms. No, but I know that shouting doesn't help. Sophia closed her eyes. Please stay calm. But her breathing was too quick. The warm magic pulsed inside her like a heartbeat she couldn't slow down. She flickered again, becoming a blur of half-visible shapes. Then the voice from the pool spoke again, softer and clearer than before. Your heart is too loud, Sophia. Sophia froze. Too loud. You fear losing control. But fear is the loudest magic of all. Quiet your fear, and you quiet the power. Sophia swallowed hard. I'll try. Amber took a step closer. We're right here with you. Clover hopped closer. We're not going anywhere. Unless a giant monster shows up, then I might rethink it. Sophia smiled invisibly. Thank you. She took a deep breath and stepped into the circle of glowing petals. They drifted slowly around her, creating a calm, floating rhythm. Sophia closed her eyes. She let the wind brush her face. She listened to the soft drip of water in the pool. She felt the warm earth beneath her feet. And finally, she let herself breathe slowly. Her heartbeat slowed. Her thoughts quieted. The flickering softened. Amber gasped. Look! Sophia's body shimmered gently, then stabilized. She became fully visible. No flicker, no glitching, no disappearing. Clover bounced. It's working. She's not blinking like a broken firefly. The voice echoed warmly. Good, but the lesson is not finished. Suddenly, a cold wind whipped through the clearing. The glowing petals blew upward like a tornado of light. The water in the pool turned dark. The orb above the pool flared brightly. A shape rose from the water, a shadowy version of Sophia herself, made of swirling dark mist. Its eyes glowed faintly. It copied her movements perfectly. Amber gasped. "Is that Sophia's shadow?" Clover hid behind her. "That is creepy. I mean really creepy." The voice said, "Your fear takes form. Face it. Calm it. Defeat it." Sophia stepped back. Defeat it? How?" The shadow Sophia rushed forward, phasing in and out just like she did. It moved fast, almost weightless. Sophia panicked, and instantly disappeared again. Shadow Sophia swung through the spot where she had been. Sophia gasped as she reappeared farther away, falling onto her hands. Amber shouted, "Sophia! Don't panic. That's what it wants." Clover yelled, "Yeah. Think calm thoughts. Like tea parties. Or naps." Sophia tried, but the fear inside her grew stronger. The shadow grew larger, darker, more unstable. "I can't do this," Sophia whispered. Amber stepped forward. "Yes, you can. You always can. Think about all the times you faced scary things, dragons, curses, Cedric when he was in a bad mood. This is no different." Sophia breathed deeply again. Slowly her heartbeat calmed. Her body flickered once, then steadied. The shadow took a step back, shrinking slightly. Clover gasped. "It's working. The calmer you get, the weaker it gets." Sophia stepped forward, determination in her eyes. "This fear doesn't control me. I control me." She stood tall. The shadow shrank again. "The magic isn't wild," Sophia said softly. "It's just scared, like I was." She closed her eyes. She breathed slowly. She let calm fill her completely. When she opened her eyes, the shadow dissolved into soft silver sparkles and drifted back into the pool. The voice spoke warmly. "You have passed the first test." Sophia smiled. "I did it." Amber hugged her tightly. "You did." Clover bounced. "First test down. 2 more to go." But the voice grew serious. "The second test will be harder." The glowing orb drifted upward again, heading deeper into the woods. Sophia took a deep breath. Her heart was calm now. "I'm ready," she said. But she didn't know the next test would push her powers and her courage further than ever before. Sophia's heart pounded as she followed the faint trail of sparkling sea blue light through the royal gardens. Clover hopped nervously beside her, ears twitching at every rustle in the bushes, while Amber tried to keep pace, her eyes wide with curiosity and concern. "Sophia," Amber whispered, "are you sure this is safe?" Sophia took a deep breath and nodded. She knew the power she carried was unpredictable, but she also knew that running from it wouldn't solve anything. This glowing trail might hold the answers she needed to finally control her invisible powers. The trail led them to a secluded fountain at the far edge of the gardens. Here, the water shimmered unnaturally, glowing with the same blue hue as the trail. Sophia stepped closer, and the familiar flutter of magic surged within her. She felt the pearl's magic responding to the fountain, as if urging her to confront it directly. "This must be it," Sophia said softly, her voice trembling with both excitement and fear. Clover hopped in agreement, and Amber, though hesitant, stayed firmly by her side. The moment Sophia placed her hands on the edge of the fountain, the glowing magic swirled around her, lifting her hair and dress as though an invisible wind had blown through. She felt herself begin to vanish, the familiar sensation of flickering entering her body once again. "No!" she cried instinctively. This time, however, she did not panic. She remembered Cedric's guidance, stillness, discipline, and courage. She closed her eyes, took a slow, deep breath, and focused on her heart. In and out. She imagined herself firmly rooted, visualizing her invisible self returning fully into her body. Slowly, the flickering stopped. She opened her eyes to find herself fully visible, the swirling magic of the fountain calming into a gentle glow. Sophia had done it. She had finally mastered the first level of control, remaining visible at will even when the magic tried to take over. Clover hopped excitedly in a circle. You did it, Sofia. You're back. But Sofia knew her journey was not yet complete. The pearl's magic, now hovering above the fountain, pulsed gently. A voice, soft yet commanding, echoed in her mind. Princess Sofia, you have learned control over fear. You have begun to master your heart. Now you must learn the courage to act when the magic challenges you. Sofia nodded. She understood that the next stage would require more than calm. It would demand bravery in the face of real obstacles. Amber stepped forward, taking Sofia's hand. We'll face it together, she said. Clover nodded earnestly, adding, and I'll keep watch for anything scary. Almost as if answering her words, the fountain's waters erupted in sparkling arcs, forming shapes of twisting, shimmering creatures made entirely of light. They darted around Sofia in a playful but unpredictable dance, disappearing and reappearing with a flicker similar to her own powers. Each time they approached, Sofia felt a surge of fear and excitement. This was the ultimate test of courage, to interact with the magic directly without letting it overwhelm her. She took another deep breath and stepped forward, meeting the first glowing creature head-on. It swirled around her like a spinning ribbon, brushing against her arm. She shivered but stayed calm, focusing on her heartbeat and remembering the stillness she had practiced. Slowly, she moved with the creatures, matching their rhythm rather than resisting it, feeling the magic merge with her rather than against her. Minutes passed, though it felt like hours. Sofia's initial panic melted away, replaced by a sense of wonder and control. She discovered that when she focused her thoughts, she could make herself fully invisible or fully visible at will, even as the creatures whirled around her. The pearl's magic responded immediately to her intent, no longer flickering uncontrollably. She had learned discipline and courage simultaneously. Amber clapped softly and said, Sofia, this is amazing. Clover hopped with joy, squeaking, you're like a magic superhero. Sofia giggled, feeling proud, but she kept her focus. There were still more lessons to master, and she didn't want to let the magic escape her control again. The fountain's glow dimmed slowly, signaling the end of the trial. The sea blue sparkles rose into the air and formed a gentle aura around Sofia, reinforcing her control over the invisible magic. The voice spoke once more, warm and approving. You have done well, Princess Sofia. You have faced fear, practiced discipline, and shown courage. The magic is now yours to command wisely. Use it to protect, to help, and to bring joy, but always remember that invisibility is a gift as well as a responsibility. Sofia's chest swelled with pride. She felt the magic settle comfortably within her, no longer chaotic or frightening, but balanced and responsive. Sofia turned to Amber and Clover. I think I've learned how to control it now, she said, smiling broadly. Amber gave her a big hug. You did it, Sofia. I'm so proud of you. Clover hopped into her arms, adding, I knew you could do it. You're amazing. Sofia laughed, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with magic, just the joy of knowing she had grown stronger, braver, and wiser through the challenge. As the sun set over Enchancia, the gardens shimmered with the soft glow of magic and evening light. Sofia placed the pearl back safely in her satchel, feeling confident she could now use her powers responsibly. She had learned that her invisibility was not just a trick or a random magic, it was a reflection of her heart. By staying calm, disciplined, and courageous, she could control it and use it for good. Clover yawned and stretched, Amber adjusted her tiara, and Sofia felt ready to share her adventure with everyone at the castle. She knew she would always remember this journey, the fear, the flickers, the lessons, and the ultimate triumph. And now she could enjoy the magic as a true princess of Enchancia, ready for any adventure that came her way. That night, as Sofia went to bed, she held the pearl close and whispered a quiet promise to herself. She would never misuse her invisible powers, and she would always use them to protect her friends, help those in need, and bring light wherever she went. She drifted off to sleep, feeling safe, strong, and invisible only when she chose to be. Her magical adventure had ended for now, but she knew more challenges would come, and with courage and heart, she could face anything. The next morning, the sun rose over Enchancia, shining on a princess who was no longer afraid of her powers. She smiled as she remembered the lessons she had learned and felt excited for the next magical adventure that awaited her. Invisible powers were no longer a curse, they were a gift, and Sofia was ready to embrace them fully. And so, Princess Sofia's journey of bravery, magic, and self-discovery came to a happy and inspiring conclusion, at least for today.